Hey guys, it's Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we have got a special ×10 event open for one of the newest champions added to the game, Graazur Irongut. Now he is honestly probably the largest champion outside of someone like Crisco or one of those Dreng champions, right? Jetney's probably quite big. He is huge. Look at the size of him. He looks awesome. You can just about see his really bad teeth in there with a little bit of red glowing eyes. But he's available as a ×10 during this clan versus clan. They always do kind of like a ×10 for really powerful champions during clan versus clan to try and encourage you to buy it. Now, normally I don't put any value on a ×10 unless it's a void ×10 champion, because the normal ×10 odds, because there's so many different champions, they're just like, you don't get enough value out of them over a ×2. But a ×10 void legendary, there's not a lot of void legendaries in the game, so there's a pretty good chance, I think it's like 18 or 17% chance, that when you pull a legendary, if you pull a legendary, you get that champion on a 17% chance rate. So really the first question you've got to ask yourself is Graazur Irongut worth pulling shards for? And he is probably one of the hardest carries in Hydra, if you exclude your Acrisias and your Tarases and your Trunders that we've seen in the Hydra Creator Draft. If you haven't seen the Hydra Creator Draft, head over to deadwithjedi.com. He has got a whole page on all the draft, all the results. You can see the value of those champions over there with the runs that Scratch did, MTT Jedi. They really made those particular champions powerful. But what he actually gives you here is a very tanky, high damage kit. So firstly, his passive is a bit like Vogoth here. Whenever this champion is attacked, he heals all allies except this champion by 70% of the damage he receives. He'll only heal 35% of the damage received from boss attacks. That is essentially a 35% damage reduction on all ally damage. And he also gets himself unkillable, so if he was to die, he always guarantees he heals. If you don't know, if you kill a Vogoth before he can, like if you just kill him one shot, he doesn't heal. Whereas if he stays alive, then he gets that healing component. That's why you see a lot of the times people will put Vogoth in a reaction, but make him quite squishy, but give him that ability to survive, because if he dies in one shot, you don't get any healing. So here, we always guarantee that we get the healing on a 4-turn cooldown. The effect of healing has no cooldown, so essentially, he's constantly permanently healing, because most of the Hydra is an AoE attack. So he's going to get attacked, which means all the other allies get healed. So that's the first really cool thing. He's kind of like a Vogoth, but just giga charged. Then we have this A3 on a 3-turn cooldown, has a 100% chance to provoke for 1 turn on a 3-turn cooldown, and you also get increased resistance and increased defense. Now, the only thing you need to be careful of in a Hydra setting is if the enemy of mischief steals resistance, then you got a bit of a problem, because now you can't get rid of that buff off the enemies, and the enemies are going to require a lot more accuracy for you to be able to place debuffs. So that's the only danger with the resistance buff. But if you can get all your numbers up to a reasonable level, resistance buff is actually very powerful. But you get increased defense as well, and you get a provoke champion. So this in the situation is a bit like a Bivold style role at the moment, right? He can provoke, he provides stability, and he provides a lot of healing. But what makes him insanely good for Hydra particularly, I speaking of Hydra, he's very good everywhere else, but Hydra is where I think he's really strong, is this A2 ability. 3-turn cooldown, he heals himself for the 10% of the damage dealt. Keep in mind, he's taking lots of damage, he's going to heal everyone up, then he's going to heal fully back with this, because he's going to be doing damage based on enemy max HP. He's going to also increase the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn. So that's a 3-turn cooldown. So it's again a 3-turn cooldown with a 1-turn buff extension. It's very valuable. But this will basically fully heal him in Hydra, because you're going to do 10% of the enemy's heads. You don't really need that much crit damage really to make it work. So you're probably going to be getting like, 200,000 on each head. So that's an 800,000 damage, and he's going to heal by 10%. So he's going to heal 80,000 HP. So you can see like this is really valuable. And then we have an A1, which is another AoE ability. So we have 3 AoE abilities, a bit like Artak that's going around right now. Triple AoE. He attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies except for this champion for 1 turn. The value of shield is proportional to this champion's defense. It's about a 1.1 times defense. He is a defense-based champion with a decent base defense. So if you're in the early to mid game, he becomes like a bit of a Krisk. He will go in every single one of your teams, and he will hard carry your teams, because you can put him in a stun set. He's going to give you lots of healing. He's going to give you shieldage. He's going to give you increased defense. He reduces the level of debuffs you receive. He's going to provoke. He is a monster. And then when you get to the late game, he becomes quite a strong Hydra champion. He's kind of like a Husk meets Oella meets a Vogoth for me, right? Oella has that healing with increased resistance. With the buff extension, he has that buff extension with healing. And then he's also got this like provoke with increased defense. He's kind of like that mix. Because he does enemy max HP with a provoke, feels like a bit of a husk. Very, very strong champion. So the real question is, should you pull for him? And I've been I know I must be quite close to my mercy system because I pulled for all of the warlord times 10. I didn't get one. I pulled another 30 odd or 40 odd before that. I can't be that far off. To some extent, I shouldn't pull for it on my account because I don't have the Yumikos, the warlords. I don't have the Siphi. I don't have the Jorgids. I don't have the really big void legendaries for arena. But I don't have an Acrizia either, right? I don't have lots of void legendaries. So in my book, I was kind of like, if I was really caring about arena, I wouldn't pull for it. I'd wait for a more arena focused, but I'm kind of over live arena at the moment. So I'm just going to pull for a champion that's new, that's cool. We've got 30 voids. We've got 30 voids to get this. Maybe we can continue the luck that we got on the last shard pull. Maybe we can continue it. This is just like shards I've accumulated. If we want, we can also go buy an extra one from the clan shop for like 900 here. I'm pretty sure my tag team is on cooldown, so we can't get one there. Or we could get one there as well, right? So we can go get an extra 2 voids if we don't get lucky. But hey, let's see. You know, ideally, I'd like any of the void legendaries that I don't have, except for a few. Like, I don't really want Jingwon. Tormin would be okay, but I don't really want him. One of the big powerhouses like Graazur, something like an Acrizia, a Siphi, those would be really powerful. Let's go. Times 10 odds doesn't mean you get lots of epics. It just means that if you strike gold, you're going to get a good chance of that legendary. I say good. It's not amazing. It's still only 15% odd. Oh, we get gold! It's not a Whirlim. No. No. Oh my god, that is awful. Oh, I've been Whirlimed. Somewhere, Hellhades has cursed me with his Whirlim. Oh. That's brutal. There goes the Mercy. That's one of the champions that I would not have wanted. It's not that he's a bad champion. I've just got 2 of him already. Ah, no. That's a sucker punch. Oh well, I guess we're pulling the rest of them now. Unbelievable. Whirlim, the worst. That's just like, that adds no value to my account, and that's thrown the Mercy system right out the window. I mean, even on a times 10, you can see it's really hard to get the champion you want. I really shouldn't pull the rest of these shards, but I'm rage-induced. What an awful Mercy. There goes the Mercy counter on a Whirlim, and the rest of it's going to be terrible champions. Of all the champions to get, I mean, I've got so few void legendaries. A Whirlim is going to end on a 10 rare. Wow, brutal. I have no words. What a brutal, useless pull that was. Whirlim. I mean, does he even give me anything of value? Like, what can I even do with a Whirlim? Well, I suppose I can get 10% more defense. Amazing. But that's not the Graazur Irongut that I was promised. Plarium. All the free QA that I do for you, and you can't give me a good... I mean, look at all these ones. We could have got any of the Taras Marichka. We could have got even something like a Supreme an Ethos. Or we could have got something like a Cardiel. Or even a Sinic would have been interesting. I know you can get Sinic from there too. Hanarak. Look at all these interesting void legendaries. The Graazur that it was up for grabs. That we could have potentially got that is more valuable. Leorius. We could have made YST happy with the Coroner. We could have got Raka, Supreme Galek, Warlord. No, of course, I had to pull the one void legendary that probably is lowest on my tier of requirements. You know, there's a Siphi there waiting for me. Supreme Kale would have been really good, right? Even Tremario would have been interesting. I don't think necessarily it's a great champion. Jorgid, Hegemon, Solus, Acrizia, Torment, the list goes on. My account is just starved of very good void legendaries. Very starved. You know, I don't really think Clyde nor Ileal, these void legendaries are pretty poor. There you go, guys. I'm just going to go cry my milk somewhere and blame Hellhades' love for Whirlim from back in the days for cursing my account. My luck for the kind of times 2 we had on the weekend. That's the only time I can pull shards. I have an ability to triple roll gate. I cannot pull shards for the life of me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.